All right, everyone, we should be live. By the way, I'm not actually late. The live stream hasn't started yet. We're waiting for Joe Biden. He'll be fashionably late, as usual. Anti-scurvy drink, cold water and lime. That's all you need. By the way, we should be live on both YouTube and Twitch, actually. And in the near future, I will be trying to out OBS. I'm going to try to collate that to Rumble, which I think you have to pay for if you don't want ads on it, but I'll bite the bullet on that one, as well as Odyssey if it's available, and potentially other sites as well. I know D Live is there as well. Yay! Finally caught a live stream. Blue Dog 24 with the first super chat, $4.99, no comment. Thank you anyway. Yeah, so I'll read some super chats in the meantime while we wait for Joe Biden. He's a later tater. Here's what I expect. I expect him to say blah, 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 something, something. I ended the war in Afghanistan. Give me fucking credit. Yeah, by the way, there are 250 plus American citizens left in the country, plus a bunch of service dogs that are apparently being taken care of by some people there. But at some point, you're going to have to pay the Taliban to let all these people go. So thanks. Ian O'Malley, when do you think Fallout 5 will come out? Love you. It's I think it's scheduled for 2023. I think the next Elder Scrolls comes out next year. And then the year after that, you get Fallout 5. So we have to wait a while. Hopefully that means that they'll make it more RPG based. Our hopes are probably going to be misplaced. Yes, there's no slow mode on Twitch. That is true. I have no choice but to use slow mode because otherwise I can't pay attention to the super chats, though. Jason Pratt 90210. We are all but rocks in Viper's crack pipe. Bailey Robb, already at 2 BLUs. Amazing work, you fiend. Yeah, no, it's getting up towards 3 BLUs. A Biden loser unit, or a BLU, is 300 people watching a live stream, because that's normally the number of people that watch Biden, about 300 people, unless it's a major thing like this. Right now, Biden is, there are almost 2,500 people waiting for the White House stream. We've only got 1,100, so you need to share this out so that we can ratio the White House. It is of the utmost importance that clankers do their part. Make sure to share this stream far and wide. And we'll be live ridiculing Biden. Yes, this is Beijing Biden. This is his farewell address to Afghanistan. We will be ridiculing him live as soon as they start. So it will be funny. Wonder if I could draw shit over here. I need to look that up. That'd be funny. I know Storm Chasers and shit were doing that. We were trolling some of their chats the other day. Viking Woman 1988. Smith & Wesson is still hiring and you don't need the jab. True. Credo Ape Thor. Impeach Biden and let Kamala fail. Yeah, I agree. Impeach him, remove him from office. Let fate decide what happens with Kamala. Probably that she is more of a no-show than Joe Biden. Aaron, can you give some examples of ways you expect elections to be defortified going forward? It'll all be local and state. People in local areas need to sign up to monitor, and people at the state level need to become activists and make sure that their states block universal mail-in voting and do voter ID laws. And that's really it. That's the sum and substance. Russian. 90 generals wrote a scathing letter against the handling of Afghanistan. That actually is not abnormal. That sort of thing tends to happen anyway, regardless of what has happened. That happened to Trump. There were generals and shit like that that would tell him, you've done a bad job, Orange Man bad and stuff like that. That is literally meaningless. If you're in the military, if you're currently commissioned, shut up. Just do your job. And if you're given a truly unconstitutional order, like, hey, kill these citizens because they're dissidents, then you'll be in the right position at the right time to really make a difference. Padre Mortalis, cheers. For this parody president, we get parody Weird Al. Kidding. Thanks for the content. Yeah, I get compared to Weird Al a lot. I guess I'm getting older. I used to get compared to that dude from the Ramones. I think Joey Ramone. B. Newman, Baba Booey, Fafa Foha. Aaron, what's up, Sticks? You rock, brother. Check out the song F. Biden by Burden. It's pure facts. I love it. US, US. Keep speaking the truth, man. Love your videos. Thank you very much. Ian Jones, been following you since 2016. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything you do. Thank you as well. Metalhead 10,000, Biden. I ended the, the thing. Yeah, I expect it to be a little bit mumbly. I do not expect him to take questions. This will probably be a fairly short presser. I will be surprised if he actually takes questions at the end. Tiedan Araj, leftists are trying to blame Trump by mentioning the release of 5,000 prisoners and that he trusted terrorists to follow the stipulations. Yeah, but the thing is, they were. The funny thing is, these people that are cast as terrorists, which is a loaded term that's used by governments to denote anyone that stands against them, they were, actually. I mean, they rejoined the Taliban, but the Taliban, by and large, had come to the table. We made an agreement, and then the U.S. decided to renege on it. The U.S. is the one that breached the agreement, not the Taliban. Yeah, okay, the Taliban struck a target once in a while. They're going to do that anyway. It's just a normal sort of antagonism. The United States is supposed to be better than that, and, Biden doesn't understand. Sebastian Monroe, finally, after 1,000 years in the amateurium, or 6 years real time, I reemerge for a stick stream. Backlog of super chats to follow. Yeah, I probably won't even get to them all. Beachaz52, do you believe Kamala Harris even wants to replace Biden at this point? Yeah, she definitely wants the job. Absolutely. Jason Edward, happy Dementia Day. Wait, that's every day. Thanks for your content, good sir. You're welcome. Every day is Dementia Day, unfortunately. Yeah, there's too many super chats for me probably to get to them all. Like, Jesus Christ. Joseph Steelen, I like ice cream. Oil Hunter, hail to the teleprompter. Yeah, that's what's going to be really making the speech tonight. Dr. Funk, slowly building my winter food cache up here in Alaska or Arkansas. I'm not sure exactly which one AK is. It's getting harder and harder to find bulk items, though. Yeah, here it's not a problem, but nobody has any guns or anything, so prepping is a little more difficult. MT Coiner, I thought they were going to cunt them down. Yeah, Biden apparently, his idea of retaliation for the 13 Marines killed was 2 drone strikes, one of which he won't even name who was killed, and the second one killed a bunch of kids. This is U.S. foreign policy under Joe Biden. Based Sauron, Jeremy from the Quartering is saying that impeachment is probably not going to help anything and the GOP should focus on matters at hand. I'm inclined to agree. Biden won't be convicted in the Senate. Thoughts? I agree. It would be a distraction. It'd be like when the Democrats, pathetically decided to impeach Donald Trump. It didn't mean anything. It just made him look weak. Melissa Zimmerman, I listen to you every morning. Great content. Good taste. Dave Cast, $4.99, no comment. Thank you. Sebastian Monroe, the Bidens can introduce their youngest newborn who can have a Habsburg jaw and the public still won't care. I think it'd have more than a Habsburg jaw. Probably like a Habsburg cock or something like that. Bill Tano, clank, clank, coffee drank, smoke the herb because it's dank. I don't smoke the herb anymore myself, but, you do you. God, Jesus. Yeah, there's no way I'm getting to all the super chats. I am going to, unfortunately, not get to a few. Mr. Who Say What? Sticks, you have inspired me to be more active in local politics. I'm currently volunteering in local campaigns and I'm calling out the swamp creatures that we have here in Long Island. Thank you. Yes, get other people to do the same. Get active in local civics. You don't realize how few votes there are in many local elections and how powerful those positions actually can be. Padre Speaks. When will you collab with H.A. Goodman and do a mashup of Biden impersonations? I'm sure he does a better Biden, but I'm sure I do a better Bernie Sanders. Or George W. Those two I do really good. Stabbing Joe Scarborough. Love you, Sticks. Yeah, Joe Scarborough apparently killed an intern or some shit like that years ago, allegedly. Matthew Hammond. They need to send General Milley to Afghanistan to make things right. Leak to the media that he is being sent there. If he resigns, he does so in disgrace. Yeah, I don't think he'd last very long. He's one of those West Point cadets that never actually saw combat, I think. Blue Dog 24. Hi, Sticks. Did you know that the DC mission bankrupted the National Guard? We have had multiple drills canceled due to lack of funds. Lol. It wouldn't surprise me in the least. That's Biden's America. America last. Sebastian Monroe. Give a shout out to Elle from somebitchtoldme.com. She's been adamant against government censorship and COVIDianism and could use a boost. Well, there you go. Somebitchtoldme.com. Squishy Mirror. Metal Gear Solid, Sons of Liberty, an interactive documentary about our current times. Aren't we in Deus Ex as well? No one. Do you watch Epoch Times or NTD News? You really cover the same topics every day, if not. Where do you get your daily dose of news? Any suggestions? I get a lot of it from 4chan as well as from RCP, Real Clear Politics. It's an aggregation site. When I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel, occasionally I'll go to the legacy media sites themselves. Always archived, of course. C. Willen, $2. No comment. Thank you. The Real Holtzinator. Hey, I just met you and this is crazy, but I have dementia. Hey, I just met you. Are you the thing? Where am I? That sounds like a regular night at the Biden household. My name isn't Jeff. Been watching you since Obama. You're the homie. Obama was in there a long time. Does that mean 2008 or 2016? Just joking. I appreciate it. I watches The Watchmen. How do you think Bitcoin will do within the next 12 months? Some speculate that BTC will breach 100K. It could. I'm holding it. I'm not letting it go. Nor my LBC, my Doge, my Cardano, or anything. I'm not selling any of it. Darun Albain. Do you know of Francois Marie Charles Fourier Lauren Chen did a video of him? If he was the foundation of Marxism, no wonder it is nuts. Yeah, with a name like that, Jesus. Jim Morrison. In '85, Al Gore held hearings because his wife was upset about music lyrics. Zappa testified with John Denver in support of free speech. The center of the satanic panic. You remind me of Zappa. I am very glad that you compared me to Frank Zappa. I consider that a huge compliment. Yes, that's true. As well, other people, I think, wasn't Eddie Van Halen there as well, among others? Ozzy, I know, was part of that. He was on Geraldo's Satanic Panic bullshit documentary. By the way, Geraldo pivoted his career a couple years later and started going mainstream. Oh, how pathetic. Now he's a Twitter user. Darun Albain, Lauren Southern, not Chen. Oh, yeah, there's several good Laurens within politics. Joe Biden's dentures. These live streams are great. Thanks, man. Clank. By the way, there's still almost 6,000 people are getting ready to ratio Joe Biden. We've only got 3,000 people watching here. This is a problem. We have a crisis, clankers. You need to share this stream out more. Otherwise, the president, the so-called president of the United States, might get more views than we do. That would be a big problem. It would have never happened before. Quick, take to all of the sites that you know and share this link out. Whether it's, YouTube, Twitch, it doesn't really make a difference. Opinionated junkie. Some douche got mad when I pointed to U.S.-funded Taliban in the past. He cried like a baby and blocked me. Yeah, such is a leftoid. They always block. The Ark. Biden likes to call his black staffers boy while sniffing kids and eating ice cream. P.S. Recall Newsom. Yeah, people, if you're in California, you need to sign up to vote if you haven't already. You've only got, I think, like 2 more days to do that, if that, actually, at this point. Vote to recall Gavin Newsom. Vote yes on the recall. Doesn't matter who you vote for to replace him. Fraser McBurney. Now the war is over and we are back. We're in 2000. It's time to go back to the way we were in the year 2000. No more spying on U.S. air pat-downs. Yeah, it would be nice. Now that the war is supposedly over, which it's not. I mean, there'll be drone strikes continuing anyway. It would be nice if we could go back to the way it was there as far as, the Fourth Amendment. Empty Coiner. My hex bags are pumping uncontrollably for 2 years now. I potty anyone who didn't catch the money train. Yeah, crypto's really popping. I got in on Cardano actually at the latest lull. I'm loving it. Didi Cortez, love your occult and gardening videos and also for sifting through the garbage to get us the good bits. Yeah, it can be hard because there's a lot of garbage. like most of it. Ty Sloan, will Taiwan ever reclaim mainland China? Do you mean will they ever reclaim West Taiwan? They don't have the manpower yet, but maybe they'll develop like attack robots, so you never know. Jason Static, Biden lied, people died. Absolutely. We'll see. The army we trained to fly are now flying Blackhawks, hanging U.S. supports from the wheels. Yeah, they hanged a dude apparently in Kabul, or Kandahar actually, the other day. I was fact-checking it. I didn't want to report on that until it was confirmed that that was, what was happening. I think they were trying to recreate a scene from Scarface, actually. I'm pretty sure that's where they got the idea. I mean, they are a meme army at this point. Ty Sloan, thoughts on China's video game ban and nationalism? It's stupid. And people who are stupid will fall for it. It's literally Chinese propaganda. It's the idea China wants to cast itself off as the more pure version of the West, but it's not. It's way more degenerated in every way. Palm Tree Productions, when are you opening your alligator farm? When I learn how to make alligator jerky, which I've tried. It's actually pretty good. Mr. Benito Mussolini, do you think Trump is going to nominate Ron DeSantis as his VP candidate if he runs in 2024? I have no clue. I was under the impression he couldn't because they're both Floridians, but somebody said in the last stream that that wasn't the case. I don't even know at this point. I guess if he can, that'd be near the top of his list. Ty Sloan, why do you call China West Taiwan? Well, because West Taiwan is what it actually is. The government of Taiwan is the legitimate governing authority of all China. What you call China is just Taiwan in exile. Got through the super chats, Jesus. Took a while. Yeah, but Biden will go live at, some indeterminate point. He'll be fashionably late, maybe. I did downvote this stream beforehand. Normally I don't do that, but it's just like the last time I downvoted, and I was like 3/4 through the stream, and my downvote was removed. I can confirm that does actually happen on YouTube. They are scrubbing the downvotes. I don't know why. Whether this is bot and algorithm related or whether it's them, circling the wagons for Biden. Honestly, I think it's the former. It must be because, he still gets ratioed on everything he does. It's not exactly defending him. President Biden delivers remarks on ending the war in Afghanistan. See, the problem is that Biden hasn't ended shit. Now, Donald Trump brokered a withdrawal. That's a troop withdrawal. Withdrawing your troops is different from ending the war. I'm sure the Taliban considers these drone strikes acts of war. Garant, with Trump not firing most of the higher-ups in Intel, etc., and appointing neocons, I don't want to repeat. I want DeSantis over Trump. Your take? I think that Trump, if he runs, will get the backing because he is the technical incumbent because he's already been president. And there won't be any discussion over it. Everyone else will stand aside. Ty Sloan, do you think China and Japan will have a war soon? No, because Japan would immediately scrap the element of its constitution preventing remilitarization. The United States will do literally everything in its power to prevent that situation from happening. Sebastian Monroe, Sticks, what flavor ice cream do you like? Whatever Biden's not eating at the time. In reality, though, I don't really eat sweets. I don't eat ice cream or pie or cake or any of that. I don't really like refined sugars much. As a kid, cookies or something once in a while, but I don't know. I prefer savory foods. I like meaty things, herby things, stuff with a lot of dairy, hearty, root vegetables and stuff like that. Give me a good stew, better than any cookie will ever be. Miss Steele, M Stealth GT3, Air Force One, 800 million, Uncle Joe, best president ever, Hong Kong, failing, priceless. He's more than just a simple failure at this point, Jesus. Bailey Robb, when Kamala's arms violently spasm about, she's actually practicing elbowing Biden off a high platform, which for Biden would be 2 feet high. Yeah, she always does the thing. She's doing the brown sugar shuffle, I guess. It's almost like a minstrel show watching her. That's what she was hired for. Comedy relief. Scott Steiner, the world's greatest ring announcer. Progressives are divided now over the SCOTUS ruling on rent freeze. Some are concerned that nativists would use a disease to deport illegal aliens. I hadn't heard of that. Interesting. Winston Fujimori, Taiwan #1. Love to see a debate with you and Fuentes. I actually debated him on religion once and beat his ass on Catholicism. Of course, he's a Catholic. I'm an occultist. He lost. This was agreed upon. His fans think otherwise, but whatever. I like the dude. By the way, I don't think he should be banned from platforms. I mean, he's been mistreated way fucking beyond. Warhammer Tactics with Pigeon. High Sticks Switzerland will hold a referendum if to accept same-sex marriage. It also allows for artificial insemination. What is your opinion on it? I support gay marriage. I don't have any problem with it. I don't understand why anyone would. It's a state contract. It involves people living their lives and they want to leave property to one another. Who gives a shit? Glow in the dark. Biden leaves thousands of Americans in Afghanistan, yet we got near 100,000 refugees out. Priorities, Americans last. Yeah, it's not thousands. It's only a few hundred supposedly left behind. But yeah, there will be a lot of refugees. Some will stay in Qatar and other countries like that, but some of them will, I guess they'll be an Airbnb at this point. Evil pool drain. Look up Gabriel Geip. All right, I'll have to do that at some point. Oh, God, there's so many super chats, and Biden's still not showing up. Biden wants my voice to go. See, his plan is that he wants me to read so many super chats that I can't talk over him. Sebastian Monroe, how to get Biden to go away? Ask about Afghanistan. Yeah, they did that the other day. It was great at the the Ida presser. Dirty Eddie, why don't you call out Dark Matter 2525 for his blatant grift, lefting, simping for Biden while still ranting on about TDS? I called him out on Twitter a while ago, and like a little bitch, he decided to flee. It's funny because I subscribed to him. He was one of the original people I subscribed to way, way back, along with The Amazing Atheist and people like that, like Lacey Green and shit like that. That was the first wave of YouTube. I was subscribed to these people. Every single one of them has let me down. If you live long enough, you'll see your idols fall, and then you'll have to take their place. But I won't fall. I'll never sell out to censorship and all that horse shit. Corporations can suck my ass. My rear cunt. Al Baker. Message to my fellow Californians. Vote in person on September 14th. The less time the opposition has to compromise our votes, the better. Good idea. H.P. Lovecraft. Biden late for his own funeral again. That could be an H.P. Lovecraft book. The Man Who Missed His Coffin, or, something like that. Bob Dole. Sticks, have you seen the newest Project Veritas video about Antifa teacher? Sorry if this has already been asked. No, I didn't. I'll have to look that up. I followed them on BitChute. Thomas Concannon. The Dunce administration is so beyond the pale at this point, all I can do is laugh. Laugh with a tear in your eye. Adonis Adams. Do you have any book recommendations on high magic? All of the compilations that I made, available, by the way, on the Tarl Warwick Books blog WordPress page. High magic. Well, I mean, go through and get several grimoires of any manufacturer, and also the Book of Ceremonial Magic by weight, and you'll be ahead of the curve. Alex Alillo, are you familiar with the evil overlord list? E. Warren is. The suggestion for a child advisor seems more promising for Biden, and at worst, an ice cream playmate. Warren will never be part of any administration. She's far gone. Steve Aoki is Chinese spy. $5. No comment, thank you. Adam THM. Harris' entire fan base hold on to the one time she said, "Excuse me, I'm speaking." Biden love is based on people not bothering to look into his past. Agreed. Sebastian Monroe. I nominate Sticks for press secretary. Chat vote now. I wouldn't take the job if you offered me a 7-figure salary. I'm much happier doing this. Just think, my job is I sit here and I ridicule Joe Biden, and I get paid for it. Isn't that fucking great? Capitalism rules. Jeremy Dubek, Sleazy Viper 2024, make crack great again. Cooter gravel for all the people. Yeah, between the two of them, they could figure out probably crack 2.0. Opinionated Junkie, debate Mr. Medicare. I don't know why people think that there's a problem between me and Medicare. And also, I think that he still has the cancer, so I don't think he's debating anyone at this point. Sonic Boomers 122. How much do you want to bet Biden will be 1 hour late? I'll give you $20 super chat if he comes sooner. Yeah, he might be late. Well, he will be, but it's just a matter of how long. Alexandra, my sister-in-law and I are Baptists. Independent, not Southern, lol. And we enjoy a lot of your content. Ohio needs to give its rhinos the boot. Yeah, the rhinos are a bigger problem than the Dems in most places. Politically correct NPC, Sticks, I love you. Please curse me. You consider yourself cursed. Swiggity Swig Senpai. Have you ever thought about getting involved in libertarian think tanks like Mises and Cato Institute? Nope. I don't want to be part of any organization. I just want to grow potatoes. That's all I want in life, is to like grow my crops and spew out trolling on YouTube, and anyone that comes against me doing that, I'm up against. And the libertarians are the one group that aren't. So some grumpy goat. If someone did fan art for you, where would they send it? Well, they can link it in a Twitter DM if they wanted. I did have a site. We were going to have a fan art section, but that fell through. Ty Sloan, thoughts on Japan massive suicide rate? Working too hard. Working too hard for other people. Zinc Orby, microplastics turning men into women. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, 10 years from now, we'll find out that's actually true and not a conspiracy theory. Then, the mainstream science of today will be like, whoops, we were wrong. I watches The Watchmen. No comment. Thank you very much. Andrew Cayadido. Hey, Sticks, why does Shu hate you? I don't think she does. Nor do I hate her, actually, by the way. I just think that she's being disingenuous when she praises socialism when capitalism made her rich. That's all. Praise the system that actually gave you the fucking leg up instead of the one that would hold you back. That's all I'm asking. Drud 1995, $5 for the Sticks Gaming Laptop Fund. Yes, the Canadian laptop poster, by the way, is still active sporadically on 4chan. Best copy pasta about me ever. Greasus Crust. Sticks, please talk about the Glenn Beck efforts to rescue our Afghan-American allies and how the Biden admin attempted to stop him every step of the way, including not allowing planes to land in Macedonia. That's up to the different nations. I'm not a fan of Glenn Beck, but if he's doing that, that's fine. What I would say is it's sad when private groups have to pick up slack for the President of the United States. That's pretty sad. The Atlas Report, please clank. I don't have a spoon at the moment, but I've got a pen. Close enough. This is my anti-scurvy drink. Just lime squeezed into cold water. Cleansing. It's good for you at the end of the day. Dylan, been watching for a long time. Any tips on quitting cigarettes? Don't smoke them. Quite literally, that's basically all you can do. Sebastian Monroe, I LMAO at the lives of those who project that you're a nerd virgin loser, but fail to realize that you're married to a hot duchess. Bad joke. Yeah, it is funny that a lot of leftoids, when they want to attack me, it's either about my personal appearance that I don't give a shit about, or me being an incel, which, hasn't been the case in a long time. But I mean, that shows you where their heads are at. They think between their legs. That's why they're leftoids. Ms. Kim 1223, Sticks, please keep highlighting Biden is not in charge. It's his advisors and admin running the show. I'm fearful they'll get away with it. Yes, it is true. Biden is not in control of what's going on. He's not a president. He is a steward. He is a figurehead. Control Alt-Right. How much Parmesan cheese do you think Joe smokes through his boot hole? I know Hunter likes the Parmesan. I think Biden would probably grab the ricotta cheese belt. Hey, man, you told me there was cheese to smoke. This is the stuff, right? This looks high grade. Rectal Ranger. Good Navon Sticks. What is your favorite Dutch word? One that I won't mention here because it's naughty. I try to be a good boy, in some ways. Politically correct NPC. How much for a private 10-minute Zoom call? Can you get me $1 million? That'll get you a private Zoom call. I'll even take my shirt off if you give me $1 million. Sorta retard, $20. No comment, thank you. Leadbelly, check out the No Agenda podcast with Adam Curry and John C. Vorak. Best podcast in the universe. Until I start a podcast. Sterling Archer, €1 or pound, I believe, actually. Thank you very much. FOMO, just want to support and say that I appreciate your recent videos on mask mandates in schools. My kid can't wear one, and I am fighting the school, her dad, and the pediatrician. Sickening. Clank. Yeah, there are kids that can't. You know, some kid has severe asthma, a phobia of some sort. They're weird like me and just literally won't. Autism. There are all sorts of reasons a kid can't wear a mask or can't reasonably be expected to. Biden doesn't give a shit. Roscoe P. Cooltrain, 10.5. I thought it was 10.2. If it keeps growing at this rate, I'll just assume that I have, some sort of gigantism disorder. Black Czar, remember, this was originally scheduled for 1 p.m. They moved it for Biden's nap time. I didn't actually know that. It just says begin shortly. We will begin shortly. President Biden delivers remarks on ending the war in Afghanistan. Somebody linked me and, I figured it would be at some point. I don't even know when it's technically scheduled for at this point. Does anyone else know? Ebre, hi. Dothbag Drums. Percent on sets of books. Library of Sticks sounds lovely. I've got shit tons of books. Son of the D, what do you think of Iceland culture-wise? Planning on visiting us in the future? I would love to see Iceland. I must try Hakarl. I've tried some of that crowberry liquor that you have up there. It was very, very good, although a little bit on the weak side. Yeah, I'd love to see Iceland. It's definitely on my bucket list. Of all the other countries in the European region, Iceland is definitely in the top 1 or 2 that I want to visit. Seljuk 4702. Sam Hyde is the man behind Biden. He can't keep getting away with this. How do you know it's not actually a clanker pulling the strings, causing chaos? So, there's a clanker controlling Biden, making him say weird shit so that I can make reaction streams and then people will pay me more. That's the real truth. By the way, I think that there's a package here, so give me a moment. That's what I'm talking about. I speak English.
English, we go in English. Sorry. We keep it short. My name is Alice.
I'm Finn.
Hi, we are walking here because of the rules of the leprosy disease.
Leprosy?
Yes. Yes. Do you know the
disease?
disease?
I think it's literally.
Oh, you have to do it channel.
Oh, nice.
How many subscribers?
It's really right.
Oh, really? Wow, really cool. Have a nice day. Go
Yes,
further.
we have yes.
Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought they were the neighbors or something. Leprosy?
I think you're collecting funds for leprosy. Oh, God.
They were friendly.
Well, I appreciate it.
I hope Biden's got a lot
I
of
thought it was your house shoes.
Yeah, I thought so too. Oh, God. I'm going to laugh so hard I puke. Oh, Jesus. All right, Biden's not live yet. That was, I'm expecting a package. It obviously wasn't the package. These two people were at the door, and they had little name tags and everything. And they said something about like collecting funds, I guess, for leprosy. And I'm like, I'm live streaming literally right now. And then they're like, oh, on YouTube, Twitch. I'm like, both. And it's just the funniest thing ever. By the way, that happens quite a bit here. Actually, there are a lot of students and shit that do activism in the Netherlands. But yeah, that was hilarious. Collecting funds for leprosy. I mean, I would give them money. Like I would just give them a piece of like actual euros or something. But usually they only do it electronically. I won't donate electronically because I'm always afraid it's a scam or something. I know that's a little bit of the United States in me worrying about that, but yeah. Anyway, we'll get to some more super chats here because we're still waiting for Beijing Biden, who's lazy. WOTW. Will you sell the black and white mugs again? It's my favorite, and it broke. There is an update scheduled for tomorrow tentatively with regards to mugs, so don't worry. But there is a merch store, actually. Link in the description of this video if you're on YouTube. Go through these super chats if I can find, where they end, where they begin. Al Baker, whatever happened while you were off screen sounded especially kinky. Details. It was people collecting for, I guess, lepers. I'm not shitting you. Ring, ring. Oh, yeah. We're something for leprosy. I'm like, it's way funnier than Joe Biden. I want to see Joe Biden donate to the leper fund. Ty Sloan, difference between Vietnam and China's communism. Well, I mean, they both work insofar as they've abandoned communism. I'm sorry, but that's just way beyond. Yeah, it's actually not a scam. Like I can usually tell, but usually they won't accept paper because they're not allowed to. 'Cause usually it's students. There's a university here where we were before a few times. I get approached by people near the Albert Heijn and stuff. So, PC Gaming Guru, Semper Fidelis, Fallen Brothers. Yeah, Biden was checking his watch the whole time when he was at their march. Opinionated Junkie, Mitt Romney is a palooka example against Obama. Will, last name guy, do you follow Yeonmi Park or any other North Korean defector? Great source of info. No, but I did used to watch the North Korean TV channel, which was pirated through Seoul. Probably still online. I don't know where to find it now. Jonas Larson, what's with the Trump blaming that he made the deal with the Taliban about the Afghan government? What is the straw the media here is grasping? Well, they can't defend Biden directly, and they know that Afghanistan, the withdrawal has been a farce, so they have no choice but to say Orange Man bad. Astral Walker, your Kamala Harris impression is literally perfect. Yeah. Yeah, just imagine Squidward. Squidward, but less intelligent. That's Kamala Harris. Jesse Martin, I was low-key hoping they were stream snipping. I would love to see that reaction, although Sticks doxed would be sad. It wouldn't matter. People can dox me if they want, whatever. Yethna P, will you film a visit Flanders Fields World War II site? Oh, that'd be interesting, actually. Henkin, leprosy is a fantastic Norwegian band. Yeah, I think they meant the disease. My uncle once had a little ditty that he would sing about lepers. So a leper is a friend you know. Sometimes he will lose a toe, or something like something insane. Harvey 27, wake up Joe Biden. Hyperborea calls. The Arcadian 300. Do you foresee an Afghan refugee crisis? Yeah, there seems to already be one. Physics rigor. David Pakman is streaming this as well, banning people for disagreeing. I do not recommend anyone going over to his less viewed stream to get banned. Neither do I. You should be watching me because I'm more fun. David Pakman is, he's lesser. James Reynolds, UAB Biden. More like USSR Biden. Jordan Shanks, directionality of specialization dictates that knowledge will bound the person to a new reality that is non-congruent with any other reality. Quite intradasting. We've got 5,000 people watching here, but Biden's still got almost 10,000 waiting to watch his stupid remarks. This is a big problem. Again, share this stream out far and wide. That way we can ratio the so-called president of the United States. It is very, very important. Mr. Sandvich, how many free helicopter rides have the Taliban given out? I love helicopter rides. Yeah, they're not giving them to Marxists, though. They're giving them to, some dude that's gay or something like that. Mr. Raz Lion, who has the better music collection, you or your twin Razor Fist? As far as actual vinyl CDs, shit like that, I'm certain it's him. I think I have better musical taste though, because I like 80s dark wave and shit. Ty Sloan, did you know China influenced Japan but are rivals? Yeah. Well, Japan technically influenced China. They had the earlier culture. I would know. I've read books about Japan by Japanese authors. EpicMan004, imagine having Kamala as a neighbor. Ultimate Karen. Oh, God. Yeah, but you'd have to be rich to have her as a neighbor. So, it's kind of bearable because you have the money to buy a big fence. Al Baker, Styx, have you ever played Dungeons & Dragons or any other tabletop RPG? If so, can you offer advice on how I'd go about subtly showing election fraud to my players without giving away the real-world inspiration? No, I actually haven't. A lot of people have tried to, typecast me as being the Dungeons & Dragons nerd, but I've literally never even encountered it. I've never even known anyone that played it, I think, in person. Let's get Mifarog. Mifarog and Jin, anyone? Sterling Archer, who is Andy Six and what's up with his logs? Well, first, Sterling, you open your mouth. Then Andy Six crouches down over your mouth. He releases a sizzling crack and his anus begins to prolapse just slightly. And then you gently suck his log down your whore gullet, and then you're clogged. King Dinosaur, what is your favorite Blaylock book? Have you read his collection 13 Phantasms? No, I haven't. I've read Elfin Ship and Homunculus and a bunch of other books. Elfin Ship is definitely the best, but I'm trying to go through all of them. I know that there is also, for the Elfin Ship, he had another book that was pre-release that he has published, which was sort of the rough material from which it was made. I haven't gotten it yet, but I definitely want to read it. James Blaylock is the man. Revex, am I misunderstanding or is he an hour late? I don't even know at this point. I don't even fucking know. Wade Mukunda, White House pays 50-cent army for live views. Lol. Yeah, they're probably loading it with bots. Still, we've got 5,000 people watching here, and that's more people than will engage with the White House stream. But keep sharing it out. We'll do what we can do as clankers. Blue Gigum, please mix audio levels so the stream is as loud as you are. Past White House streams have been inaudible compared to your voice. Love you and Sleazy P Martini. Yeah, the problem is I don't know how to mix the audio. I'll be getting OBS at some point, tinkering around and seeing if it works. Harvey27, the UK has already let in 20,000 illegal immigrants. Now we are expected to take in thousands more Afghan immigrants. Watch Nigel Farage on GB News. Yeah, Farage is cool. Astral Walker, oh no, TJ is getting ratioed on his latest pro-Ministry of Truth video. How long until he blames McClankers? Yeah, I mean, I made a video about him, so he might claim that I'm threatening him again like he did that other time on Twitter. I can't even remember what the fuck I said. He claimed that whatever I said sounded threatening. And then he started, I don't know, I think he stole my Ouroboros logo for a while. So then I made one with a banana. And then he started using it and he thought this was a win. His optics are bullshit. Dr. Nigsop McChortle Bag. Have you ever considered a lucrative career in locksmithing? No, but maybe lock picking. Opinionated junkie. Most stores close at 7 or 8. No point going out. Yethna P. I am proud of you for dual streaming and figuring out how to read all super chats. You are improving. Please do a stream with Ricada Law. Yeah, I'd like to do that in the future. Yeah. It's hard to go through all the super chats, though, so fucking many of them. I'm still waiting for Joe Biden. We're almost, we're more than 45 minutes in. Sebastian Monroe, the D&D stuff may correlate with your occult stuff, but you seem like you can write a book with your creative mind and literary skills. Styx RPG game? It'd have to be based on Sickness and Hell. That'd be a fun one. Larry Gork, Stuart Scheller for president. I have no clue who that is. Maybe I'd vote for them, depending on what they believe in. Politically correct NPC. Do you know how to read cards, tell fortunes, anything like that? Oh, and you missed my last super chat, FYI. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm jumping around on these. I'm trying to get to them all, but there's literally too many. Yeah, I can read tarot cards. I have a tarot card deck. I just don't put too much stock in them. I put more stock in dream interpretation for fortunes. I be ripping them. I've got a noisy butt. Control Alt-Right. Will there be a Sticks and Salty Cracker stream? Possibly. I like Salty Cracker. Based Sauron. Any chance he's getting the 25th right now or just having an episode behind doors? Yeah, it'd be funny if Jen Psaki comes out and says, well, Mr. Biden can't come to the teleprompter right now. He fell down, he broke his foot again chasing the dog back in Delaware. He's coming out of the shower and he just couldn't help himself. Mr. Rass Lion, how can we get you and turd-flinging monkey in the same room? The world needs it. I don't think he likes me. If I remember correctly, like years and years ago, he spurged out at me at one point with his emphysema voice. Safety, hi Sticks. Thinking of starting my own garden this coming spring since Australia is a prison again. What plants would you recommend for a beginner? In the Australian climate, probably just a bunch of cactuses. All your plants want to kill you anyway, so just mix and match and then have your neighbors wander through your maze of deadly plants, and the survivors, you can pay them a prize. If you live stream it, you'll get way more money than you have to pay them, and then you can buy crack from Sleazy P. Martini. Evan Arsenal, did you see the troops carrying away a woman behind the troops when Biden was checking his watch? No, I didn't, actually. It wouldn't surprise me. The Z program, we're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this far from any other guy. I get the reference. Jonas Larson, what's your view on the reports of Biden declining a Taliban offer of American control for the whole of Kabul? Reports mean nothing. If it's from the legacy media, Bailey Robb, you've probably heard of Russell Brand. He's a celeb comedian over here in the UK. Would you speak to or debate him? And what did you agree with him about? You mean that little derp that looks a little bit like a pirate and he's way past his prime now and he keeps seeking attention? No, I wouldn't talk to him because he's talentless. He's not even really a comedian. I mean, he's not funny. It's just basic bitch political humor and shit like that. If I want that, I'll watch Carlin reruns and it'll be 10 times funnier and at least 5 times as talented. And if I want to look at someone who's like actually funny and has the pirate look, then I'll watch Johnny Depp doing this Pirates of the Caribbean shtick. Zink Orble, if Newsom doesn't steal the recall, I'll eat my shoe. Joe Biden's dentures, Tim Pool levels of super chat, clankers equals generous. Yeah, real generous. This is my retirement fund. Jack O'Neill, by raised, I mean she was the last of the flock we raised from chicks rather than from the pullet flock. Oh, I literally don't know anything about that sort of thing. I want to raise chickens and shit like that, though. I'm super drunk. All right, who moved my drink? I'm gonna fight somebody. Yeah, now you sound like Hunter Biden. Only it would be about his pipe. Chris Stewart. Stuart Scheller is the Marine Lieutenant Colonel who called out the administration and military leadership over the failure. Was then relieved of command. Yeah, I heard of that. What I would say is if you're in the military, it's better to shut your mouth And then if given a truly unlawful order, then you disobey. Then you step out of line. Then you refuse to kill the dissidents, so to speak. If you're not there, how can you stop the slaughter? Crusader Saracen, Hunter Biden gets to snort crack and launder millions because dad is POTUS. Corporal Hunter Lopez and 12 others were killed for the exact same reason. Yeah, but they weren't smoking crack at the time. They might have had that good shit in the MREs, but they didn't have the crack rocks. They might have had some opium, and they are in Afghanistan. Larry Gork, Scheller is the USMC colonel who just sacrificed his career in retirement to call it the total incompetence of the brass, Joint Chiefs et al. Yeah, I know. I saw that, yeah. Ty Sloan, how come Spain was once a power, now it's irrelevant? Well, because Spaniards. No, it's really because of logistics. When you've got a mainline European country, mainline size, and you've got a shit ton of colonies, but they're all over the fucking place, how do you manage them all? RX1, whatever happened to Naked Ape? I wouldn't be able to tell you. Sometimes I'm out of the loop with regards to some of this shit. Somebody telling me to shut the fuck up about Russell Brand. No. Astral Walker, speaking of Carlin, you think he would have sold out to the woke mob if he lived to see today? He espoused leftist views in the years before he died. Yes, but he would not recognize the left of today. The Kiefer 522, Biden looks into a mirror and sees a sparring partner for cream corn wrestling. He checked the time to make sure he wasn't late to the match. Yeah, that's why he's late to here, because he's busy doing the corn wrestling. Robert Cook, did you hear about the advantages of joining the new leprosy political movement? They say racism literally falls out of favor and falls off of your flesh as well. There is no race, only lepers. Bob Dole, have you seen Sam Cedar call you out recently, saying you will debate nobody's like Anomaly, but you avoid him like the plague? Well, I mean, no, he hasn't contacted me. How am I supposed to fucking debate a person that doesn't contact me? Maybe if he DMs me on Twitter or something. I don't know much about Sam Cedar, though. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I like the dude. Maybe this is horseshit. I don't go out of my way to start problems with anyone, but all the time people want to debate me and shit like that, and, you know, get on like with Anomaly. At first he's like, hey, I've got my Hawaiian shirt in respect to you, and by the end he's basically calling me Hitler. Nigel Farage, WAP, I know that Bussy be so talented, it's doing cartwheels, but I don't care. William Hestlow, I see they're still trying to wake up Joe. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I really don't know why he's so late. Maxim B, is this the pre-stream for Biden's funeral? Maybe. Maybe he popped another aneurysm or something. This is late for even Joe Biden, just to be clear. Which means probably at the last minute, like there was some breaking news and they had to redo his notes and prep him again, or, you know, something like that. Dose him up again. Injects a Red Bull into his neck. Crusader Saracen, I clarify they're dead because Biden, not crack. Oh, God. Low Rung Maslow, the worst is not so long as one can still say, this is the worst, by King Lear. Never did like King Lear of all of Shakespeare's plays. I like The Tempest. Drearier Spider 1, have you noticed how all family members of dead Marines who have publicly spoken are emphasizing how Joe Biden was legitimately elected? Honk, honk. Yeah, now I get the reference. Yeah, all of them seem to hate Joe Biden. I wonder why. Oh, yeah, my son's dead. My daughter's dead. Whose fault is it? Ty Sloan, how long will China, Taliban, and Russia be friends? For 10 minutes before China or Russia decides to develop something there. Oh, here, no, we're live. Here comes Joe. Come on, man. It's time for some ridicule. Yes.
Last night in Kabul, the United States ended 20 years of war in Afghanistan.
That is a lie. We just ended our troop presence.
The longest war in American history. We completed one of the biggest airlifts in history with more than 120,000 people evacuated to safety. That number is more than double what most experts thought were possible. No nation No nation has ever done anything like it in all of history. Only the United States had the capacity and the will and ability to do it, and we did it today. The extraordinary success of this mission was due to the incredible skill, bravery, and selfless courage of the United States military and our diplomats.
Bravely. It was due to the bravery of our diplomats. And by the way, that's horseshit too. Like, there's still people literally left behind, but I doubt he'll get to them, just to be clear. Michael Smith, by the way, donating almost $100. Thank you very much. Hey Sticks, been following for years, sent here by Salty Cracker. I am proud Salty Clanker. Do you think the Dems are secretly regretting their steal? Maybe secretly hoping the audits correct their screw up? No, I think they're happy with the situation. They've got a steward in the White House. Let's get back to Joe Biden and let him continue to rant for a while.
And intelligence professionals. For weeks, they risked their lives to get American citizens, Afghans who helped us, citizens of our allies and partners and others on board planes and out of the country. And they did it facing a crush of enormous crowds seeking to leave the country. And they did it knowing ISIS-K terrorists, sworn enemies of the Taliban, were lurking in the midst of those crowds. And still, the women and men of the United States military, our diplomatic corps, and intelligence professionals did their job and did it well, risking their lives, not for professional.
Now notice, Biden has to emphasize that all of the other people other than him did a really good job. To cover his ass, he said, well, the Marines did a good job. The Army did a good job. Contractors did a good job. Yes, Biden, we know. The problem is you didn't do a good job. But that's not going to be, but that'll be glossed over because the whole idea is that this is bravado. This is patriotism. So if you question the withdrawal at all, now you're not questioning Biden. You're questioning the Marines. You're questioning the Navy. You're questioning all the troops and contractors and Afghans and shit like that. Pure propaganda. You'll see plenty more propaganda, I'm sure, in the next few minutes. Let's get back to Creepy Joe.
No gains, but to serve others, not in a mission of war, but in a mission of mercy. 20 service members were wounded in the service of this mission. 13 heroes gave their lives. I was just at Dover Air Force Base for the dignified transfer. We owe them and their families a debt of gratitude we can never repay, but we should never, ever, ever forget. In April, I made a decision to end this war.
Oh boy, what a fucking whopper. In April, he made the decision to end the war. No, you didn't. You made the decision to withdraw troops, and that was pertinent on a withdrawal plan that was made by Trump. See, the war's not over. The war will keep going. We're going to continue doing drone strikes, possibly even air strikes. There might even be ground incursions. It's just we don't have a permanent troop presence in Afghanistan. That has nothing to do with the nature of war these days, waged by first world powers, is mostly robotic. It's AI and things like that. It's drones and robots and stuff like that. It has nothing to do with troops on the ground. You don't need troops on the ground for this kind of war. But he knows this, and we'll let him continue to, we'll give him enough rope to hang his own argument here.
Part of that decision, we set the date of August 31st for American troops to withdraw.
That's also a lie. Initially, it was September 11th. Initially, he wanted the symbolic withdrawal to be September 11th in order to even further cover up things with patriotism when they inevitably failed.
The assumption was that more than 300,000 Afghan national security forces that we had trained over the past 2 decades and equipped would be a strong adversary in their civil wars with the Taliban. That assumption that the Afghan government would be able to hold on for a period of time beyond military drawdown turned out not to be accurate.
So again, all fault lies with the Afghan people. They didn't fight hard enough. What the fuck were they supposed to fight for, Joe? You? Why the hell would they want to do that? You completely turned your back on them. See, all of this will be washed away, though. The legacy media will like this speech. They'll say, well, I had decorum. He talked about the dead troops, so we're not allowed to question him. We don't want to look unpatriotic, do we, guys? And that'll be the end of it.
But I still instructed our national security team to prepare for every eventuality, even that one. And that's what we did. So we were ready when the Afghan security forces, after 2 decades of fighting for their country and losing thousands of their own, did not hold on as long as anyone expected.
Well, come on, man. The Taliban said there was a dirty bomb in the White House, but I ate burritos last night. That was just me, so don't worry too much about it, says Joe.
We were
It's
ready
freaking out
when
there.
they and the people of Afghanistan watched their own government collapse and their president flee amid the corruption and malfeasance, handing over the country to their enemy, the Taliban, and significantly increasing the risk to U.S. personnel and our allies. As a result, to safely extract American citizens before August 31st, as well as embassy personnel, allies and partners, and those Afghans who had worked with us and fought alongside of us for 20 years, I had authorized 6,000 troops, American troops, to Kabul to help secure the airport.
And you failed, Joe. Here's what I want to know. Since Joe Biden keeps blaming the Afghans as being a bunch of fucking cowards unwilling to fight for their own country, why are we bringing a couple 100,000 of them into the rest of the world and then hailing them as heroes? So which is it? Are they cowards or are they heroic? Are they strong fighters or are they a bunch of weaklings? I can tell you one thing, though. Joe Biden's a weakling. And everyone knows it. And that's why this sort of thing happens. Because the rest of the world knows they can take advantage of the United States and we won't blink an eye because Joe Biden's a moron.
As General McKenzie said, this is the way the mission was designed. It was designed to operate under severe stress and attack, and that's what it did. Since March, we reached out 19 times to Americans in Afghanistan with multiple.
Also, technically true, but the problem is that Biden only a few weeks ago told Americans, also those in Afghanistan, of course, that were watching CNN, oh no, there's no imminent threat the Taliban will take over the country. That'll probably never happen. The Afghan government has like 300,000 troops and tanks and shit like that. How could the fucking Taliban take over the country? It's unheard of. Yeah, a way to lull people into a false sense of security. Imagine those that were in Herat or Kandahar that fell way before Kabul did. They're like, oops, now they're all hostages. There are hundreds of hostages in Kabul right now.
Multiple warnings and offers to help them leave Afghanistan, all the way back as far as March. After we started the evacuation 17 days ago, we did initial outreach and analysis and identified around 5,000 Americans who had decided earlier to stay in Afghanistan, but now wanted to leave. Our Operation Allied Rescue ended up getting more than 5,500 Americans out. We got out thousands of citizens and diplomats from those countries that went into Afghanistan with us to get bin Laden.
By the way, a lot of people are asking why he's yelling. He does this when he tries to do the soaring speech thing because he has Alzheimer's. What he does is instead he just raises his voice. He's done this many, many times before, not always in the context of giving a teleprompted speech like this. He's done it as well when he responds to members of the media. He will always raise his voice when either he's antagonized or he's trying to drive a point home and thinks that it's poignant. Thinks that it's very high and mighty. It's soaring speech or something. Classic Alzheimer's.
We got out locally employed staff of the United States Embassy and their families, totaling roughly 2,500 people. We got thousands of Afghan translators and interpreters and others who supported the United States out as well. Now we believe that about 100 to 200 Americans remain in Afghanistan, with some intention to leave. Most of those who remain are dual citizens, long-time
Dual citizens.
residents who had early decided to stay because of their family roots in Afghanistan. The bottom line, 90% of Americans in Afghanistan who wanted to leave were able to leave.
So only 90% of those who wanted to leave were able to leave. Well, that sounds great if you're a Democrat, maybe, listening to this speech. To me, that sounds nuts. In other words, 10% of those Americans who wanted to get out didn't get out. That's just literally what he admitted to. But again, the legacy media won't press him on this. They'll softball him a few times, and then when he doesn't answer questions at all, they'll ask him, Mr. President, tomorrow is it a vanilla day or is it a chocolate chip day? Oh, well, I think I'm going to go with mocha. Oh, Mr. President, oh, how wonderful. Oh. And then they'll do their fucking clapping and shit like that. Bunch of cucks.
And for those remaining Americans, there is no deadline. We remain committed.
You can get out anytime you want. Just say the word and we'll pay the Taliban 50 grand a head. You left them there to either be tortured or to be pawns. Now, some of those Americans, I guess, are just terrorist sympathizers. You know, that's okay. They're the RT crew or something like that. Caleb Maupin is there, maybe. That's all right. Screw them. Let them stay there. What about those who want to come home? You just said 10% of them couldn't. But again, he's not going to get pressed on this. He never gets hard questions from the legacy media. Oh boy, if I was in the press bowl, can you imagine that?
Committed to get them out if they want to come out. Secretary of State Blinken is leading the continued diplomatic efforts to ensure safe passage for any American.
Why does our Secretary of State sound like one of Santa's reindeer? Blinken. Nobody takes him seriously either. Every day he always has that deer in the headlights look too, which is, pardon the pun, which makes it even fucking funnier.
Afghan partner or foreign national who wants to leave Afghanistan. In fact, just yesterday, the United Nations Security Council passed a resolution that sent a clear message about the international community expects the Taliban to deliver on moving.
The UN delivered a strongly worded letter. The Taliban had best be on its fucking goddamn cunting best behavior, because otherwise they'll send another strongly worded letter. This is, by the way, peak globalism. The UN says you better cooperate. Nobody cares what the UN says. The US told the UN to fuck itself for several years under Trump, and we should continue doing that. It's too bad that Beijing Biden's the asterisk president right now. Do you think the Taliban gives a fuck about what the UN says? They're hanging homosexuals off of helicopters right now. I'm sure that they really care about women's rights and stuff. They'll probably be getting a UN Women's Rights Council chairmanship or something like that in the near future. Isn't Iran on that? Doesn't Iran have a chair on the Human Rights Council, and China too? Well, why not have the Taliban there? Basically the same.
Moving forward, notably freedom
Holy
to travel,
shit.
freedom to leave. And together,
the UN expects them to be allowed to leave. Okay, by land. Oh, they can go to Uzbekistan, Iran, Pakistan. Are you seeing where I'm going here?
you're joined by over 100 countries that are determined to make sure the Taliban upholds those commitments.
They won't.
It will include ongoing efforts in Afghanistan to reopen the airport, as well as overland routes, allowing for continued departure to those who want to leave and deliver humanitarian.
No, you know how they'll depart? They'll depart in a fucking pine box. Their spirit will depart to another world because ISIS will kill them, because they know exactly who those citizens are, because he gave the goddamn list to the Taliban. And at some point, I'm sure that one of those Taliban members said, hey, I got my $5,000 for it. And they sold it to an ISIS member. Guaranteed.
To the people of Afghanistan.
This has just begun.
The Taliban has made public commitments, broadcast on television and radio across Afghanistan, on safe passage for anyone wanting to leave, including those who worked alongside Americans. We don't take them by their word alone, but by their actions. And we have leverage to make sure those commitments are met. Let me be clear.
If they don't meet their convictions, I'll take them out behind the woodshed and I'll do a corn pop contest. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. Oh, God. Keep in mind that there are people who voted for him. Not 80 million, but, some millions at least.
Leaving August the 31st is not due to an arbitrary deadline. It was designed to save American lives.
That's interesting because Biden originally said September 11th. Do you remember that a couple months ago? I do. Biden doesn't want you to remember that, by the way.
Predecessor, the former president, signed an agreement with the Taliban to remove U.S. troops by May the 1st, 6 months after I was inaugurated. It included no requirement that Taliban work out a cooperative government arrangement with the Afghan government.
Which is irrelevant because they obviously didn't work out such a cooperation.
But it did authorize the release of 5,000 prisoners last year.
Oh, here we go. Biden is blaming Trump once again. Trump, the scapegoat for all of his problems. Oh, there's inflation? Well, Trump did a thing. Joblessness rose? Well, Trump did a thing. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I told you this would happen, by the way. Did I not fucking tell everyone? Somehow, they would blame Orange Man, or at least try. Let's see what he says.
Including some of the Taliban's top war commanders, among those who just took control of Afghanistan. By the time I came to office, the Taliban was in its strongest military position since 2001, controlling or contesting nearly half of the country.
Oh, boy.
The previous administration's agreement said that if we stuck to the May 1st deadline that they had signed on to leave by, the Taliban wouldn't attack any American forces. But if we stayed, all bets were off. So we were left with a simple decision. Either follow.
We were left with a simple decision. Either we fucking leave and we don't get attacked, we get everyone out, everything's fine, Afghanistan falls. Or we prolong it for 6 weeks, nobody gets out, everyone gets shot up, and Afghanistan still falls. Well, I think that Joe Biden chose the wrong choice there now, didn't he? By the way, he's basically fucking admitting to it. He's literally admitting to the fact that the initial agreement that he's giving credence to would have had a clean withdrawal if we had just stuck to it. Did you hear that? I guarantee the CNN audience didn't hear it. They'll probably cut that part out retroactively.
Follow through on the commitment made by the last administration and leave Afghanistan.
Oh, boy.
Or say we weren't leaving and commit another tens of thousands more troops going back to war. That
false dichotomy. We could have had a clean withdrawal, or we could do a messy withdrawal, as Biden has just gotten us through. Only a few people died, including thousands more in the next coming weeks, but we won't hear about that because CNN's not on the ground. Or we could go back to war. Why didn't we just have a clean withdrawal? You just mentioned it 30 seconds ago in your own fucking speech.
Was the choice, the real choice, between leaving or escalating. I was not going to extend this forever war.
But you did, Joe. You extended it by 6 weeks. That's the truth. You pushed it back. And technically more than 6 weeks. Technically like 3 months. But 6 weeks, technically, in your initial withdrawal pushback. And that's what caused the problem. But see, Biden will never be pressed on this because the legacy media is too retarded to ask him that question. None of the journos, even the Fox journos, the controlled opposition people like Ducey, they're not going to ask him either.
And I was not extending a forever exit.
They need people like us to do their jobs for them.
The decision to end the military airlift operations at Kabul airport was based on the unanimous recommendation of my civilian and military advisors, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and all the service chiefs, and the commanders in the field. Their recommendation was that the safest way to secure the passage of the remaining Americans and others out of the country was not to continue with 6,000 troops on the ground in harm's way in Kabul, but rather to get them out through non-military means.
Now, let me ask you something, and this is rhetorical because, you know, a light will go off in your head and you'll say, aha. If the Taliban's our friend, because ISIS in the region, why didn't we just trust them and withdraw on May 1st anyway? Because there wouldn't have been a fucking problem. We wouldn't have been involved in the region anymore. Who cares what happens to anyone else in the region? We could have gotten all of our personnel out, all the vehicles and everything, as well as all the Afghans that worked with us, and it wouldn't have been a fucking problem. But again, he won't be asked this. He either won't take questions at any presser in the immediate future, or if he does, there'll be softballs, pre-selected questions.
In the 17 days that we operated in Kabul, after the Taliban seized power, we engaged in an around-the-clock effort to provide every American the opportunity to leave. Our State Department was working 24/7, contacting and talking, and in some cases, walking Americans into the airport. Again, more than 5,500 Americans were airlifted out. And for those who remain, we will make arrangements to get them out if they so choose.
But thankfully, there are no journalists there to document it when they get beheaded, when they choose to leave, but they get beheaded anyway because we don't have any troops to protect them, says Joe.
The Afghans, we and our partners have airlifted 100,000 of them. No country in history has done more to airlift out the residents of another country than we have done.
Residents of another country, a lot of those are U.S. citizens, you fucking moron. What are you talking about? You left a bunch of people behind. We're not even sure how many were even evacuated out. I mean, we got like 5 different fucking estimates on the number of Afghans that were moved.
We will continue to work to help more people leave the country who are at risk. We're far from done. For now, I urge...
And I'm far from done ridiculing you, Joe, every time you go live.
All Americans.
Yeah, baby.
Join me in grateful prayer for our troops and diplomats and intelligence officers who carried out this mission of mercy in Kabul and a tremendous risk with such unparalleled results. An airlift that evacuated tens of thousands.
He keeps going back to the fact that this airlift is like some sort of fucking miracle, when really it was badly botched and it could have been done in like a couple of days if the airport hadn't been fucking hazarded. If there weren't a threat there, oh, geez, the Kabul airport's not like, it's not, you know, Rutland Regional. You're capable of airlifting a lot more people than that, technically, if you really had a coordinated effort and didn't have ISIS in the area. But, you know, Biden doesn't give a shit.
To a network of volunteers and veterans who helped identify those needing evacuation, guide them to the airport, and provided them for their support along the way.
Except for those who got vaporized by ISIS.
We need their help. We need your help, and I'm looking forward to meeting with you. And to everyone.
Is he going to meet like them, like he did with the spouses and kids and shit of the dead Marines, half of whom basically afterwards will like fuck off because they hold him responsible?
Now offering, or who will offer, to welcome Afghan allies.
By the way, all viewers can dislike the White House stream for what it's worth. Half your dislikes will be removed anyway afterwards by YouTube, so it doesn't really make a difference.
To their homes around the world, including in America. We thank you. I take responsibility for the decision. Now some say we should have started mass evacuation sooner.
Yes, we should.
Couldn't this have been done in a more orderly manner? I respectfully disagree. Imagine if we'd begun evacuations in June or July, bringing in thousands of American troops and evacuating more than 120,000 people in the middle of a civil war.
Oh my God. Like, there's not a middle of a civil war going on right now. What the fuck are you talking about? Why would you have needed to bring in troops when the Taliban wasn't even near Kabul? By the way, Biden is straight out lying. You want to know how? Here's something to tell all your lib friends. We know that Biden's lying. If he really believed that the Afghan government back then in June and July, like he just said, had control of the country and would not stand down and was able to fight off the Taliban, as he said in July, why would he have believed that they weren't capable of securing Kandahar, Herat, and other major areas, including Kabul, so that people could evacuate at the time? Straight out, flat out, goddamn pants on fire, fucking cunting lie. Take it to the bank.
There still would have been a rush to the airport, a breakdown in confidence and control of the government, and it still would have been very difficult and dangerous mission. The bottom line is there is no evacuation.
Evacuation. There are people who will believe this dog shit, by the way, despite the fact that he literally just undermined his own initial point with regards to the Afghan government. But again, you have to pick things apart and analyze them on the go, like on the fly like this, in order to actually understand why he's such a fucking liar. And most people don't have the fucking patience to go through that. You have to do like a write-up or something. Someone do a write-up on what I just said with regards to the Afghan government. Take that clip of him with the June and July bullshit, and then compare it to what he said at the beginning with regards to the Afghan government. Well, no one could know, and we thought that they would fight harder. Well, they can't both be true, Joe. You done got caught with your pants down. Well, I mean, I know that happens a lot anyway, but...
From the end of a war that you can run without the kinds of complexities, challenges, and threats we faced. None. There are those who would say we should have stayed indefinitely for years on end.
Who? I want to know, other than a handful of rich neocons, who the fuck ever suggested that we should stay in fucking Afghanistan?
They ask, why don't we just keep doing what we were doing? Why do we have to change anything? The fact is,
now he's doing the whispery thing.
Had changed.
Oh, there's some sloganeering. Why couldn't we just do things the way they were? Oh, they changed. Things are different now, man. Come on, man. It ain't corn pop no more. It's hominy pop.
My predecessor had made a deal with the Taliban.
And it's Trump's fault again.
When I came into office, we faced a deadline May 1.
And you fucked it.
The Taliban onslaught was coming. We faced one of two choices. Follow the agreement of the previous administration and extend to have more time for people to get out. Or send in thousands of more troops and escalate the war.
But this is, again, a false dichotomy. You didn't have to stay in. You didn't have to extend. You told us that the Taliban could be fended off by the Afghan government just like an hour ago, or not even, like 40 minutes ago. Then you said that, oh, they couldn't be counted upon for that in June and July. There's a big problem. We had to evacuate people differently.
To those asking for a third decade of war in Afghanistan, I ask, what is the vital national interest? In my view, we only
making sure Kamala goes before you on the stairs, because she would be worse.
Afghanistan can never be used again to launch an attack on our homeland.
It will.
Remember why we went to Afghanistan in the first place? Because we were attacked by Osama bin Laden and Al Qaeda.
We were attacked by a Saudi prince from Saudi Arabia who was killed in Pakistan. This is why we went into Afghanistan, though. Don't get us wrong.
On September 11th, 2001. And they were based in Afghanistan.
And my son died.
We
and
delivered justice to
crack.
Bin Laden on May 2nd, 2011.
That's also probably false. Benazir Bhutto said that her understanding, Osama had died several years earlier of renal failure. Then she was assassinated. Very convenient timing.
I respectfully suggest you ask yourself this question. If we'd been attacked on September 11, 2001 from Yemen instead of Afghanistan, would we have ever gone to war in Afghanistan?
Yes, Joe, because Yemen is not a major opium supplier.
Even though the Taliban controlled Afghanistan in the year 2001? I believe the honest answer is no. That's because we had no vital interest in Afghanistan other than to prevent an attack on America's homeland and our friends.
Just remember that the liberals watching this, their eyes are glazing over and they're just passively absorbing this as true. All of those people who very quickly, like around 2003 or so, became anti-Bushites, they're basically listening to George W. only more demented at this point, and they're listening to what he's saying and agreeing with it. Sheep, lemmings, subhumans.
We succeeded in what we set out to do in Afghanistan
Deplorable.
over a decade ago. Then we stayed for another decade.
NPCs.
It was time to end this war.
Dummies. Stupid heads.
This is a new world.
A new world order, says Joe Biden. In this new world order, we don't call it war anymore. We call it enrichment by drones. We call it drones of diversity.
The terror threat has metastasized across the world, well beyond Afghanistan. We face threats from al-Shabaab in Somalia, al-Qaeda affiliates in Syria and the Arabian Peninsula.
Okay, we got to invade them all, right?
ISIS attempting to create a caliphate in Syria and Iraq and establishing affiliates across Africa and Asia. Notice
how he doesn't note the one most ISIS overrun country, which is Libya, because it was destabilized by Hillary Clinton. The one that doesn't get mentioned.
The obligation of a president, in my opinion, is to defend and protect America. Not against threats of 2001, but against the threats of 2021 and tomorrow. That is the guiding principle behind
Biden will defend us against himself.
I simply do not believe that the safety and security of America is enhanced by continuing to deploy thousands of American troops and spending billions of dollars a year in Afghanistan.
No, we'd rather deploy them and spend that money elsewhere.
But I also know that the threat from terrorism continues in its pernicious and evil nature. But it's changed, expanded to other countries. Our strategy has to change too. We will maintain the fight against terrorism in Afghanistan and other countries. We just don't need to fight a ground war to do it.
No, we've got drones.
Hold over the horizon capabilities.
So the war is not over. It's just from the skies with robots and stuff like that. It's like everything that anyone making a dystopian 50s sci-fi movie would be jealous of this timeline. It's exactly what they predicted would happen. You don't need to send soldiers in. Kill people with drones. Yeah, so what if 75% of them are little kids?
Which means we can strike.
They're brown people, right, Joe? You don't care about them the same way you do
few if needed.
other people.
We've shown that capacity just in the last week.
Yeah.
We struck ISIS-K remotely, days after they murdered 13 of our service members and dozens of innocent Afghans. And to ISIS-K, we are not done with you yet.
Oh, he's going to take him behind the woodshed like a big, strong boy.
I firmly believe the best path to guard our safety and our security lies in a tough, unforgiving, targeted, precise strategy.
So drones.
After terror where it is today, not where it was 2 decades ago.
So drones. Indiscriminate.
That's what's in our national interest. And here's a critical thing to understand.
Basically what it is, hey, when we invaded Afghanistan, drone tech was pretty primitive. Now it's really great. So we don't need troops there. We can kill civilians. We don't need to have soldiers in the way. We'll just put a couple of missiles on a robot. Yay, guys, the war is over, right? Right? Lemmings, liberal lemmings will they'll take it seriously.
Yeah. The world is changing.
Unfortunately.
We engage in a serious competition with China.
Why don't we go back to using broadswords and pikes in battle?
Fronts with Russia. We're confronted with cyber attacks and nuclear proliferation.
Nuclear.
We have to shore up America's competitiveness to meet these new challenges in the competition for the 21st
We got to shore up Americans' competitive.
century. We can do both. Fight terrorism and take on new threats that are here now and will continue to be here in the future. And there's nothing China or Russia would rather have, would want more in this competition in the United States to be bogged down another decade in Afghanistan.
He's doing the whisper thing now.
As we turn the page on the foreign policy that has guided our nation the last 2 decades, we've got to learn from our mistakes. To me, there are 2 that are paramount. First, we must set missions with clear, achievable goals, not ones we'll never reach. And second, we must stay clearly focused on the fundamental national security interest of the United States of America.
Like droning people.
This decision about Afghanistan,
Like circumcisions and killing kids.
It's about ending an era of major military operations to remake other countries.
We must make sure everyone's in
We
prison.
saw a mission
So
to
enslave
counter
them.
terrorism in Afghanistan, getting the terrorists and stopping attacks, morph into a counterinsurgency, nation building, trying to create a democratic, cohesive, and united Afghanistan, something that has never been done over many centuries of Afghan's history. Moving on from that mindset and those kind of large-scale troop deployments will make us stronger and more effective and safer at home. And for anyone who
Does
gets the wrong
anyone feel
idea,
safer under
let me
Joe
say
Biden?
clearly, to those who wish America harm, to those who engage in terrorism against us
To those who wish America harm, we're going to drone your whole fucking family.
or our allies, know this: the United States will never rest. We will not forgive. We will not forget. We'll hunt you down to the ends of the earth, and you will pay the ultimate price.
He's loopy.
And let me be clear.
We will kill your whole fucking family if you mess with us. Does anyone take his shtick seriously? I certainly don't.
We'll continue to support the Afghan people through diplomacy, international influence, and humanitarian aid. We'll continue to push for regional diplomacy engagement to prevent violence and instability. We'll continue to speak out for the basic rights of the Afghan people, especially women and girls, as we speak out for women and girls all around the globe.
Afghan girls have a right not to be circumcised. Afghan boys must be circumcised. By the way, the IMF is declaring that $50 billion you owe us, so pay up.
And I've been clear that human rights will be the center of our foreign policy. But the way to do that is not through endless military deployments, but through diplomacy, economic tools, and rallying the rest of the world for support. My fellow Americans, the war in Afghanistan is now over.
No, it's not, Joe. Only the ground troops are over. The war has just begun. We'll be droning people there for 20 more years. I'll be dead
And the
before
fourth
we
president
stop.
Was face the issue of whether and when to end this war. When I was running for president,
God, when
I
is
made
this
a
moron
commitment to
going
the
to
American
shut up?
people that I would end this war. Today, I've honored that commitment. It was time to be honest with the American people again. We no longer had a clear purpose in an open-ended mission in Afghanistan. After 20 years,
I'm going to let him rant for the next few minutes.
I refuse
Just a
to
sec.
send another generation of America's sons and daughters
Listen to Joe Biden.
to fight a war.
He'll tell you about how you need to get your daily
Should have ended
vegetables
long
and
ago.
how tough he is when he goes behind
After
the
more than
woodshed.
$2
Just a
trillion
sec.
spent in Afghanistan, costs that researchers at Brown University estimated would be over $300 million a day for 20 years in Afghanistan, for 2 decades. Yes, the American people should hear this. $300 million a day for 2 decades. You take the number of 1 trillion, as many say, that's still $150 million a day for 2 decades. What have we lost as a consequence in terms of opportunities? I refuse to continue a war that was no longer in the service of the vital national interest of our people. And most of all, after 800,000 Americans serving in Afghanistan, I've traveled that whole country. Brave and honorable service. After 20,744 American servicemen and women injured, and the loss of 2,461 American personnel, including 13 lives, lost just this week.
What did I miss? Probably nothing.
I refuse to open another decade of warfare in Afghanistan.
It doesn't matter how many people die. I refuse to go to war. Unless you mean drones. I'd say okay.
We've been a nation too long at war. If you're 20 years old today, you've never known an America at peace. So when I hear that we could have, should have continued the so-called low-grade effort in Afghanistan at low risk to our service.
And he's so long-winded too. It's like he's an hour late, and then he doesn't stop fucking talking. At this point, everyone has tuned out. Nobody cares.
At low cost. I don't think enough people understand.
Yeah, it's way less costly to drone a bunch of civilians to make a point than it is to have troops there. Because, I mean, troops need food. But a handful of soldiers can man a bunch of drones from off-site, and they can fly them in over Kabul and just bomb things, says Joe Biden. Warfare has changed. He sounds just like W.
Of the 1% of this country who put that uniform on, willing to put their lives on the line in defense of our nation. Maybe it's because my deceased son, Bo, served in Iraq.
Now he starts talking about his son who died. He didn't die in war. He died of cancer because he got exposed to depleted uranium. What the fuck does that have to do with the Afghan war? He was in Iraq.
For a full year. Before that, well, maybe it's because of what I've seen over the years as senator, vice president, and president.
I wonder what Bo Biden would say about his dad trotting his name out every goddamn time he messes up in a foreign policy sort of way. Oh, my son died, so I know exactly how you feel. No, you don't. You don't know how anyone fucking feels. Absolutely not. Bo Biden is the only member of the fucking family that actually mattered, that actually accomplished something. Biden hasn't. He was a do-nothing senator, a moron minstrel of a vice president. Now he's a dementia-addled president in name only. Hunter Biden's a crack smoker. What's his mama do? Claims to be a doctor when she's a... What did she get a PhD in teaching or something, I think?
President traveling these countries.
They're a trash
family. A lot of our
family.
veterans and their families have gone through hell. Deployment after deployment.
Oh, by the way, and this will be funny. Maybe Clankers can go over there after this stream. RZ the Legend saying TJ Kirk is making a live stream addressing the controversy of his latest video, which is still getting ratioed. That's the amazing atheist. You can go over. Make sure to leave plenty. If chat's open, leave spoon emojis and shit like that. That'd be fucking epic. There's like fucking 6,500 people here. It's like 10 times what TJ probably has. Make sure to leave him spoon clanks. Leave him clanks. I want to see his fucking live stream. I'm gonna bring that up right now.
Years away from their families. Missed birthdays.
Oh.
Anniversaries.
Yes.
Empty chairs at holidays. Financial struggles.
Ugh.
Divorces. Loss of limbs. Traumatic brain injury. Post-traumatic stress.
I don't see him
the
live.
struggles many have when they come home. We see it in the strain on their families and caregivers. We see it in the strain of their families when they're not there.
Well, the Amazing Atheist not live on YouTube, sadly.
Borne by their survivors.
Maybe he's got some other site he uses.
The cost of war.
He's hiding, probably hiding in D Live or something.
They will carry with them their whole lives.
I don't see it on YouTube.
Most tragically, we see in the shocking and stunning statistic that should give pause to anyone who thinks war can ever be low grade, low risk, or low cost. 18 veterans on average who die by suicide every single day in America. Not in a far off place, but right here in America. There's nothing low grade or low risk or low cost about any war.
Yeah, Biden's so boring. People are too busy talking about the Amazing Atheist. I was too busy looking. I don't even know that I didn't even absorb the last minute of Biden's rambling because I was too busy looking looking up TJ Kirk.
It's time
Should
to
give you an
end
indicator.
Afghanistan.
Oh Christ! Oh
As we
Jesus!
close 20 years of war and strife and pain and sacrifice,
Oh
it's
strife,
time to look
pain.
at the future, not the past.
The future is drone warfare.
To a future that's safer, to a future that's more secure, to a future that honors those who served and all those who gave what President Lincoln called the
TJ
last
does
full
life.
measure of devotion. I give you my word with all of my heart. I believe this is the right decision, a wise decision, and the best decision for America.
Dropping a link in the chat
Thank
here.
you.
You can go ahead and clank on it.
Thank you, and may God bless you all, and may God protect our troops.
And of course, he takes no questions or anything. Anyway, the amazing atheist is there. Oh, we're gonna clank on him. I can't broadcast his stream, but I can watch him react to hundreds of people saying clank. He's already mad. He's rocking back and forth like a moron. Yeah, link. I'll post in chat again. Dude, you don't have enough fans to take care of the clankers. What a moron. And by the way, this dude's only 36. The amazing atheist is not much older than me. I could have sworn he was like 45, dude. He looks like Rob Zombie, only without the rock talent. It's like if Rob Zombie had never picked up an instrument. That was great. He's like all confused. By the way, he's drinking a Diet Coke. He's drinking a Diet Coke. Oh. You can do banana emojis, maybe. I don't know. I can only do this for a minute because we're going on 2 hours here, and it's hilarious. But like, you know, this is the most probably people he's ever had on his live stream, so I don't want to reward him. I'm trying to think of quick. Everyone, don't say like say Andy 6 logs of shit. Start talking about Andy 6, Andy Beersack, and like logs of shit, like poop. Make poop references in his chat. I've got to see this. Like talk about steamy, creamy logs and like, you know, weird shit like that. Andy 6. Oh, I love it. And this is why if I reincarnate, I want to reincarnate as myself. Poo poo pee pee. That is the greatest. Yeah. By the way, he's totally not a fucking complete slob. Burping on his camera, chugging his Coke. This dude's gonna get fucking cancer from his diet at some point. Needs help. He needs to team up with Eugenia Cooney as his dietitian. He's streaming. Link again in the chat here. I can post the link. Oh, it goes to Twitch at the same time. StreamYard is great. He's begging for his mods there. He's on to us. He knows someone's rating him. He should be happy. There's like, twice as many people watching his stream where he's just sputtering about the chat. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to end this broadcast. You can keep on keeping on there. Make sure to drop him some Andy 6 log post or something like that. Don't do anything against the TOS, of course. You're not supposed to harass other people, but it's still funny as fuck. Bev Miller, worth this to see you laugh. $45 will buy a lot of caffeine. But yeah, his mods are overwhelmed. It'll be funny for some time to come. Maybe I should do this for a living. Pull up the chat in the other window. I'm watching him speak as I'm speaking, actually. Again, it is like Rob Zombie if Rob Zombie were not a musician due to a lack of musical talent. Another talent as well. Keep in mind, again, he is 3 years older than me. Take a look at us, the two of us, and see if there's a little bit of a difference. And I think when you're a nihilist, when you're constantly negative about everything, you age faster, I think. But anyway, I'm going to go off here, have a little bit of fun there. That's about all. Peace out.